how does it like to work under Elon Musk?
Great. You signed an NDA, right?
You can tell us whatever you can tell us.
Look, he's a visionary leader, right?
Yeah.
So I think with the vision, we all have to execute and push our boundaries. I think that's what matters, right?
Yeah.
Please kick my leg if I spill too much.
I'm going to kick right now. Proactively kick.
I thought you've been doing it for like quite some time now.
For me, I see this two-wheel as also our ticket in towards Southeast Asia, because again, if a system was going to stick, it will have to come from Indonesia, because we're the biggest two-wheel population in this region.
Hello Nalar people, this is Ray again, and today I'll have some special guests. They are the co-founder of Casion. They are building infrastructure for EV charging in Indonesia. Everyone, please welcome Priyaji and Kevin.
Hey guys.
Hey, thank you so much for coming, guys.
Thanks, guys.
So much exciting. Like, tell me your background, because this is something new for me to understand. I want to understand a little bit more about the EV environment in Indonesia. Tell me about your background first. Probably start from Priyaji first, because I already know a bit about Kevin, so I want to know.
Sure. My background is aerospace engineering, so I'm a technical aerospace engineer.
Oh wow, okay.
So I used to work for Boeing and Tesla as well, and transitioned to automotive back in 10 years ago. So that explains my background, I guess. Engineering background and working in the manufacturing areas and working towards the customer side of things and service, building the car to actually delivering it to the customer. So design cycle, all these things are kind of in my wheelhouse. So came here back in 2019.
Yeah, I realized you spent quite some time in the US to work.
That's right. 3.5 years in the United States and about 8 years in Australia.
8 years in Australia and 3 years
working.
So, sounds like a background, man.
Yeah, it's fun. It's been a fun ride. So I've had great opportunities along the way. Been lucky to have some products coming up, as well as for example, 787-8 was in the manufacturing phase when I was graduated. So it was perfect timing for me. So I managed to get the job and go into the manufacturing itself. And then same thing with Tesla. It was a risky business at that time, 2015, when nobody believed in me. Nobody was. It's
2015. Wow. So
2015.
It was really risky then.
Late 2014, they would start talking to me, and then they were like, "Oh, okay, you want to come to work here?" I was contemplating. I have a cushy job in Australia, but then going to a big startup it's a bit of a risk.
So you actually worked in Tesla during its inception, yeah?
Not since inception.
In 2015, when everything's still not a thing yet.
Yeah, that's true. That's right. It's not a thing. It was a radical change. Over the 3.5-4 years I was there, the things changed drastically, right? Like we launched SX and 3, all 3 models within 2-3 years. So it was and revisions as well of those models. So it was great to be in that environment. It's a very fast environment. It's basically disruptor, right? The whole automotive industry is disrupted because of that. It's not just the way electric EV vehicle itself, it's also about how they build it, how they manufacture it, how they design it. So the whole mindset is different. So it was a great chance for me to be there and learn as well as contribute.
Very nice. I'll get you. I want to ask, how was it working under Elon? But let me stop you right there. Let me go to my dear friend Kevin. So we actually met Kevin. We've actually went to Australia, but I've never met him at all in Australia. But so we met in Jakarta. So Kevin, please.
Yeah. So we met in another life. We worked together. We did this So prior to Casion, I ran a few F&B outlets. Prior to the pandemic, I think we managed 30 plus outlets, 20 something brands, ranging from coffee shops, healthy food, clubs, bars, and the project that we worked on was a franchise coffee chain. And
I've always known you as the F&B guy.
And people still do.
Exactly.
What's funny is now there's a new because going from F&B and now into this space now, I interact more with, say for example, EV cars, property owners, and government officials as well.
Totally.
What's funny is there's two set of people. This side don't know I do this, and this side don't know I used to do this.
So you basically are two different people from back then and now.
So I remember there was a conversation. I was in a room with two VCs, and they were just talking about F&B as a whole. And I gave an input. And they literally came to me like, "What do you know about F&B?" Like, "Oh yeah, you are absolutely right. I do not know a thing about F&B."
And you were. I'm guessing you were raising for Casion.
No. I was just hanging out.
Just hanging out.
They were my friend.
So those guys don't know your previous life.
It's funny actually. So and then I just went, "Hey guys, I used to do this, right?" And they completely forgot that I used to do that.
Oh wow! You really reinvent yourself, man.
Thanks to PJ right here. I got possibly 8 years of experience from him.
Straight away.
He steered us into the right path. So he made sure that we do not branch out on things that we do not need to do. So I think with him we had about I would say about 3 years worth of learning curve in Indonesia. Gone. So and I'm very grateful to have PJ.
Likewise, not just me, it's just a partnership. Right? I learned from that side too, right? Because the property side, he brings vast knowledge, like how the service industry works, and how we can cater to make it a service business rather than like a drop and go product side, right? So that side is absolutely
and that's really necessary in what you guys are doing, because you guys are doing infrastructures, right?
Correct,
so knowledge about property, how property business are being run in Indonesia is crucial as well.
Correct. That's right.
Yeah, I think the most important thing is having a long-term vision, right? Especially with infrastructure, you cannot just have a 2-year plan.
It's too short.
It's too short. It's like making a road and not using the right ingredients. Every 6 months, you will have to fill the gaps, fill the potholes, right? That's not what we want to make here. So from day one, the first thing he said was, you have to plan 10 years.
Okay.
Anything you buy, any asset you buy, any installation that you do needs to have a 10-year plan.
Okay.
Where, as best as possible, we do not have to maintain it.
Okay.
So with the experience that he had, he basically just went, okay, we work with this vendor, we work with this vendor, we work with this vendor.
Straight away like that. They definitely cut a lot of learning curve that you have to do, right?
Correct.
When you study.
You can say experimentation.
But tell me, Kevin was talking about the discipline that you're trying to instill in this Casion, right? Is this coming from your experience working at Boeing as well, and then and Tesla as well? How was it something that's always been the best practice over there?
Yeah, I think the Boeing part of it is it's all about the regulations and strict into the safety, quality side of things. Very ultra focused on it, right? And then obviously the Tesla background is also about bringing things fast, bringing products to the market fast, and how we change fast at the same time, right? Adapt. So it's just not organizationally as individual. How do we change? So I think being worked in like two different extremes. Everything else is in the middle, right? So it just helps. And I think as Kevin mentioned, I think it's just a partnership, right? All we do is we build partnerships with everybody, and help each other out. It goes from the inside of the company, what we're building right now, to the external side of things as well.
Okay.
So I think, overall, our focus is actually, building good relationships.
Of course.
Yeah.
Of course. So tell me, how does it like to work under Elon Musk?
Great.
You signed an NDA, right?
You can tell us
No,
just whatever you can tell us. You know
Look,
what I mean?
he's a visionary leader, right?
Yeah.
So I think with the vision, we all have to execute and push our boundaries. I think that's what matters, right? End of the day, world wouldn't change, world wouldn't be in this space. People like that didn't exist. So that's important to be, working under him. I learned a lot, obviously, right? I push my boundaries myself to do different things that I would never imagine doing. So, and that made me a better person, right? And I bring that experience to anywhere around the world. So, hopefully, I can help.
He is as visionary as he looks like on TV.
Yeah,
or
absolutely,
on X.
absolutely. Hopefully, I can help Indonesia build
It's amazing, man. That's amazing.
path to electrification.
It's very good. So, tell us what's inspired you to start Casion.
Yeah. So on my end is I've closer to the endemic.
Okay.
So around end of 2021, early 2022.
Yeah.
It was starting to be seen that we could regrow F&B again, right? So I went through a lot of crap the last 2-3 years from 2020 until 2022
during pandemic,
basically. And when we were able to rebuild again, I mean, we had a lot of casualties then, so we had a few outlets that closed and whatnot. But the thought that I had in my head was, do I want to do the same work and achieve the same outcome? Or do I want to step out of my comfort zone and actually do something new? So I started to become a little bit public-ish, that I wanted to explore something new. So I had a lot of opportunities that came my way, from Web3, from crypto, from even mental health stuff. And basically what made me very attracted towards EV infrastructure was something that I didn't like in F&B, was especially the F&B that I do, is there's too many concepts. It's too hard to consolidate into one mission, one vision, and one product. So it's not like Kopi Kenangan, where I can replicate it quite fast. Have the same systems as well. Like when we made the coffee shop. Bro, we had to make the system from scratch. So when you make so
it has to go start from scratch again to do one concept.
Bro, making a big outlet and a small outlet, the amount of work is the same.
Might as well you're doing big outlets.
Exactly. The amount of work is exactly the same. You have to set up your systems again, the food costing, the delivery. So the amount of work is exactly the same. So what made me drawn into EV infrastructure was basically I get to do that. I get to focus on one product, one mission, and one vision. And the more that I thought about it, I had the right networking and also the right experience on that as well. So my family background happened to be in property as well. So I grew up with all the
knowledge coming down from the many years of experience.
So I've been a landlord, I've been a tenant. And on the government side of things as well, my family happened to know a few people there because my grandfather from my mom's side happened to be at that space too.
Yeah, that's very important as well.
And but the most important reason why I chose Casion was I wanted to do the hardest one. Because
I can't think of anything harder than that, man. Seriously. Right now. Okay, are you doing EV infrastructure? Okay.
So the logic that I had was, if I'm able to execute it the way that I think I can execute it, I can sort of rise up very quickly.
Right.
I was looking at the competitive landscape as well. What were their backgrounds like? What's their growth like? And I thought, hey, I think there's something missing in what they're doing, and I feel that one thing that is missing is long term and service. So how we try to angle Casion is we wanted to make sure that we're a service company first and charging second.
Okay.
So thanks to PJ right here, installation and charging is the easiest part of our job.
Okay.
And it has to stay that way.
Okay.
for us is how can we create value not only to the owners of the car, the users of the stations. That's very important because you might own the car, but your driver is the one that charges, right?
True.
Yeah.
True.
I have to make sure that the buildings are happy with us. I have to make sure that the tenants of the building are happy with us. So there's a lot at stake, right? So we wanted to angle Casion in a way where how can we make every single stakeholder happy and how can we create value on top of it. So some of the campaigns that we do is, say for example, we have a partnership with BMW. So for every car purchased in BMW, you get 1.5 year free charging at Casion.
Nice.
Yeah, and not only that as well, but in all the in some of the apartment buildings that we have that is consistent with their car, we actually change the branding to a BMW branding and help them sell the cars.
Wow.
So we put the cars there, special test drive, special financing access. So all the tenants go down, they see the charger, they see the car, and you can just go like, hey, can I try that car? Yeah, of course. And you can actually try it. So we did that at Regent and Raffles.
Sounds like a very great partnerships you have right there.
Yeah. On the car brand, I think you can elaborate a little bit on that.
Yeah, I mean, car brand coming here, I had the knowledge of launching different markets, right? So it's easy what the user wants, what the car brand wants, how can they sell, what the problems are. I think having that knowledge and synced up with what Kevin just mentioned, it makes that easier or more appealing for the car brands to partner with us, right? We provide solutions and before even the car brand actually have a problem. So when they have a problem, we reach Casion and we can work with them. So I think that's the mindset we have. We are one step ahead, all the time, and we providing them with service and support. So I think that's kind of why we want to obviously start the Casion and we want to grow in terms of help the environment at the same time too, right? Because it reduces the carbon emission as well.
But the follow-up questions to that is why Indonesia, right? I mean, you're coming. You spend a lot of times in Australia and then a few more years in the US as well, and then I wouldn't say ended up, but you're doing the big thing in Indonesia. Why Indonesia? Why choose Kevin?
Apart from a great guy.
I know, he's a great guy. I think
Indonesia is like, so my love is here, right? My family is here, so I have to.
Yeah, we mentioned that. That's a big reason, right?
Yeah, that's a big reason. But I think I want to stay close to the family.
Sure.
But with my kids growing here in Indonesia, I would like them to have a better air quality to start with, right? Health concerns are a big thing, right?
True.
It's just the next generation has to be ready to take the mantle to make the world better or Indonesia better, right?
So you're saying you want to be like the someone that your kids can look up to.
Of course. Everybody has to take example. If you are a good example, they can take that from us, and then they can be even better person for us, right? So that's what we try to do. Indonesia is a good opportunity. I think it was just starting. As Kevin hinted, like it was perfect timing. There are other companies started doing this. The way they think doing wasn't the best to suit all the partnerships, all the properties, car brands, users, everybody. The way we found was a sweet spot. It was just placement is and the timing, right? And we met in the perfect timing at the same time.
Right?
So I guess
So please tell us, like, how do you get this? We kind of know now how you started, right? But how did you guys meet? Like, can you walk through the journey of the founding of Casion?
Yeah. So basically, we met through golf. I just gotten into golf.
Okay.
And I got introduced to him, and it took me about 3 months ish before I played with him for the first time because I just hit the ball for the first time. But his brother-in-law was my friend since maybe 2013, 2014. So I've known him for a very long time. And we got connected by one of our mutual friends. Yeah. So I told my mutual friend, I told him like, hey, I'm thinking about doing this. And he goes like, oh, dude, talk to GP's brother-in-law. Bro, you know he worked in Boeing and Tesla, right?
Yeah.
And as a normal human being, and you hear that, the first response is, bullshit.
Exactly.
And then the first thing I did was LinkedIn. Oh shit, he's right.
That's true. Yeah. I would have reacted the same, but go on.
Yeah. So
you guys met in a golf course?
No. So we met at a cafe actually.
Afterwards, after the golf. Yeah.
One of my old group's portfolio. It's a cafe in Pick. Because he happened to live a little bit closer to Pick, so like, oh, yeah, okay, fine, I'll drive. So, and then we had a great, I think, 2-hour conversation about the vision that I have on his experience as well, how we can match, and then at the end he just went, okay, I'm in. So
look, I'm fast decision maker.
Yeah, I mean, I don't doubt that, definitely. When you hit the click, right, you just know, basically, right?
That's right.
So what are the key milestones now that you've already? How long has it been that you're on building Casion?
So we installed our first station early last year. Early 2023.
And I think I'm following you guys on LinkedIn, and I've seen a lot of partnerships, and you've installed in places. What are the milestones you want to elaborate that you've done so far?
Yeah, so at the moment we have about 60 plus locations, 150 plus in the
150 plus
in the pipeline.
Okay.
So our target this year is about 800 nozzles around Indonesia.
So not just Jabodetabek.
Not Jabodetabek,
Okay.
because just we are ready to expand. Our service mentality kind of slowed us to not to expand fast, because if the charger doesn't work, how do we support it? Now we are getting to the point like, okay, are we building enough better skilled team? Better internally, our systems, our processes are well defined, so we can expand to other cities. So that's our target basically this year, and obviously multiple of that in the next coming years.
How does that? Of course, you would want to expand to many places so people can have access a lot easier to charge their electric car, right? How does that support your broader vision on and all? Like, do you wanna, Indonesia, no more gasoline's car, just EV?
Actually, the targets are given by government itself. Indonesian government have given targets, I think 25,000 charging spots by 2030 or something like that. So I think we're kind of following that, and then keeping an eye on the trends around the world, as well as in Indonesian local trends, like how fast the car companies are coming here, and how fast the models are being released, how people are tuned to like adoption, right? So we're keeping an eye on all these factors, and we're basically placing where the user is going, right? And then the car companies are going too. So that's why our partnership with the car companies as well as the properties is a key thing. So it goes hand in hand, and obviously all two of them are there, and the user will be also there. So
so you're following where the car company goes, as well as the area where people have the EV the most.
Correct.
So for me, the unique opportunity that we have at Casion is because it's such a industry at its infancy phase, we get to dictate where it goes. We get to create the systems from now that can define the next generation. Right. So, which is why whenever we try to implement something new, we always do focus groups. So we do we did focus groups with the Wuling community, Ionic community, IX owners.
So what do you do over there? What do you do in a focus group?
So we wanted to understand their charging habits. Just little things like, how hard was it to teach your driver on how to charge? When do you charge? How do you charge? What kind of systems would actually work? So we actually, instead of white labeling a system from a first world country, we actually, through those focus groups, we designed the app to localize it for the Indonesian market. So something that I noticed early on was, we're talking about the main users will ultimately be drivers
Yeah.
or people who use motorcycles, right?
Right.
And the one key word that I wanted to take out was kWh, kilowatt. Because if I ask you now what it means in an EV car, I don't think a normal people would know.
I have no freaking idea, man.
Exactly.
I have no idea.
Exactly.
I'm just gonna be honest with you.
And imagine you trying to teach someone on that. It's like I tried to teach my dad how to use Gojek and Grab. He's stuck with Gojek, so there's absolutely no way that he can even use
the other one.
So we wanted to make it as simple as possible.
Yep.
We did our first version of the app by time.
Okay.
And we wanted to make it even more simple, where the price conversion to time is 1-to-1.
Okay.
So 1,000 rupiah equals to 1 minute.
Yep.
So I happen to drive a car that he designed. And it takes me about 1.5 hours to charge my car.
Yep.
With that conversion, it's easy, right? It's 150,000.
Yep.
And that's exactly what exactly what we wanted to do first. I wanted to make sure that the transition is easy first. And now I feel that we've passed that. We're going to a new system called Chaspas. And Chaspas is our subscription model where you pay a fee each month and you get free charging in all our locations. And obviously
so
there's
one price and then
well. Correct.
Yeah. It's just like a subscription, like your Netflix.
Yeah, correct.
Okay.
And what I wanted to do was, early on we knew that we wanted to utilize idle time. I wanted to make sure that people don't have to go out of their lives to charge their car.
Right.
If I have a station here, which hopefully soon, Alwi, please sign the agreement.
Oh, is it with Alwi? That's why it's long. That's say it. That's why it's long.
Yeah.
Just kidding,
So imagine that there's a station here.
Yeah.
The time that I'm talking to you, I can get about 40%.
Okay.
That's more than enough for you to go home, right?
Right.
At 40% with my car, that's about almost 200 kilometers range.
Okay.
Almost,
Yeah. You can go a long way with 200 kilometers range, right?
Exactly. Yeah.
But I guess one of the biggest worry right now for people to convert to become like, I don't know if they should be called early adopter anymore, but is that the fact that the the ecosystem is not there to support you along the way. Those are the things that I've heard so much about people considering, should I move my change my car to fully electric or not? I'm not sure about the ecosystem right now. But how do you see the first one is I want to ask, how do you see the ecosystem, at least let's talk about around Jabodetabek area to Bandung probably, right? Or in Java, how do you see it?
Yeah, I think it'll grow, depending on, as I mentioned, like we could follow the car brands, we follow the users, we follow the property is a secondary thing, right? So at the moment it's growing fast.
Yep.
Right. So where those pockets of users are, we are going putting our charging stations, right? I mean, we work with the car brands as well to put the charging stations at the nearby location, so we get the information from them. Okay. So it makes it easier. It's a data-driven business, right? Because you don't want to put randomly in a tollway that nobody's ever going to use for the next 2-3 years, right? Because it's all about return of investment as well as providing service, and then that's our model. Basically, we look at the information what we get from the car brands as well as the users, and then we follow the trend. As in terms of the next 2-3 years, I think it will rapidly expand, in my opinion.
In line with the growth of the EV cars as well, do you think?
Correct. I think in Jabodetabek will be a given. A lot of people will start adapting new models, which is coming in. Last year you had only 2 models in this country. Now you have about 20 models. So it's a 10x jump.
And in what, like a year time?
Not even a year. It's the 6 months since the Gias. It's changed, right? So rapidly. We were expecting that, right?
Yeah.
And we were expecting that middle of this year,
Yeah.
that shift to happen, but we were 6 months
That's crazy.
ahead.
Okay.
So which is great for us, and great for the car companies as well.
Definitely.
The ecosystem, we will grow as far as the company is going to go. I think we're going to go Jabodetabek, Bandung, even to Surabaya. We are planning to expand.
Nice. Okay.
And I feel something people don't understand about EV cars is a lot of people will say, oh, it's just a trend, it's just a fad. But there's not a single car brand in the world that does not have an EV mandate, and that's
Including
something.
Toyota.
Yeah, I mean the cars are here. They're building one right now. If you read the
I
news,
wouldn't say it's a EV mandate; it's a net zero mandate.
Net zero mandate. Yeah,
Okay.
but even cars like Bentley, they have a 100% EV by 2030. Bentley. Yeah.
Okay.
So, and a lot of cars have that as well. And the challenge that we have right now is how can we convert those who use it as a secondary car to a primary car?
Yeah. Okay.
And the shift will change, and we're already seeing the signs that it's shifting towards that. But what we have to do as a charging infrastructure company is we have to see where the trend goes, and we have to adjust the way that we provide our service as well.
But it doesn't seem like the trends in Indonesia itself will slow down anytime soon.
Absolutely not. I think it's even actually get faster and faster. I think it's exponential growth.
Okay.
Especially now that a lot of the more affordable SKUs are coming in, right? Because most of the cars, they release the expensive SKUs first, and slowly they go down the for example, BMW launched the iX first, and then i7, and then now they're doing the iX1.
I need the one that's cheaper than that, man. Can you suggest?
Bro, the BYD cars are actually very good.
The what?
The BYD cars.
BYD. Okay. Yeah.
Those are actually good. So
okay. I've heard a lot people raving about it.
Yeah.
Okay. So it's not really like breaking your bank, like.
That depends on who you're talking to, right?
But it's a healthy competition, right?
Of course.
Which is good for every other car brand as well. For user perspective, competition is good, right?
Exactly.
So it's pushing the prices down. So competition is very good for us as a user. So
of course.
And for us, it's the same thing. Competition brings more cars into the market. So and
driving down the price.
Government is also supporting with the EV push,
infrastructure as well.
Yeah, very good.
So you guys been done this for a while, but what are the unique challenges and opportunities that you encountered specifically in Indonesia? But I want to hear your thought, the challenges over there in the US probably, because we're looking up a lot to the US, right? But what are the specific challenges that's very unique in Indonesian market?
Customer perspective, I looked at different markets when we launched different products in different countries.
Yep.
Customer perspective, it's quite similar. What they want, what they ask for, the problems, issues, or their preferences.
Yep.
They're very similar. Asian countries tend to like a lot of gadgets in terms of screen time. They love the screen time, so they got the iPhone, whatever the mobile technology type of thing. So they love that. That's why obviously all the electric cars comes with big screens, right?
Screens.
And
now I know why.
Yeah, so it's just a trend. It's that's going to happen, and for manufacturers, it's actually cheaper too, right? So so that side of things, customer side, it's quite similar around the globe. But for infrastructure business is a different game. Like what we do is obviously put the charging stations. They're working with the property developers is a different story, and we love to have this is our asset
in property sites.
Oh, absolutely, absolutely. Make two calls and it's all done,
and
right?
That's it.
Yeah,
come for the signing.
Yeah, I think it's.
I don't even come.
No, it's the matter of trust you build over the generations,
exactly,
right?
Exactly.
I think that's what people want in this country. So that's one of the challenges for any what do you call a charging network whoever wants to build it, that's a challenge, right? Number one. I think the secondary challenge would be internet for us. Internet's always up and down.
Going to say that.
It's just up and down. I mean, we don't have any failures in our chargers.
The network, man.
compared to any other brand, any other competitors. But network is a big
So
thing.
even in the Jabodetabek, you still have that problem.
Of course,
Okay.
of course.
Because the network drops suddenly, right?
Okay.
So
Yep.
these are trivial problems, but it's impacts a lot.
Uniquely Indonesian then.
It impacts a lot, right? Like
Yeah,
the user goes there and start charging, and then the network drops, and the charging stops, or actually cannot charge, whichever it is, right? But it's not necessarily our
Issues,
but we
yeah.
cannot really do anything much about it.
Yeah. So you guys have to do a lot of explanations to the users then.
Correct. We always tend to work with the user as the property and the internet company as it, of course.
Yeah, so it's one of those things where having a good relationship with the building is very important for us, because then they would not tell us if we don't have a good relationship with them, right? Or they will not allow us to experiment solutions at said location. And that's how we were able to learn on how to build Casion moving forward, on how we can make it more efficient, is through these lessons. We're thankful to be working with groups like Ciputra Group, MNC, AKR,
It's building on
Trinity Land. So we're very grateful to be able to work closely with them to see what kind of solutions that they might need, or what kind of issues we're having right now, so we can actually experiment some stuff. So I'll give you a real case that we're still in the process of solving right now. And in one of the buildings in Kuningan, we installed the charging station outside of the parking.
Okay.
So the parking gate is here, but we put it outside.
Right.
And it's an office. And the challenge that we have right now is, because you don't need to go in, people pretend to charge.
I see. To park.
Yeah, to park, so they can get free parking as well. And as a result, there's a group of EV cars that just hangs out there. And every time you go there, so my cousin happens to work at the building. He drives a Ioniq 5, and he basically goes like, bro, I can't use the station.
Everyone's hanging around. What's going on?
No, they just leave it. So
Pretending to charge.
Pretending to charge. Oh my god. Yeah, I can totally picture that.
Yeah, and basically with that is, we're grateful to be working closely with them to see what kind of solutions we are able to do, whether we move it inside, whether we...
Because most of the times you wouldn't know that would happen, right? When you install something like that.
Oh, we know.
Oh, you knew.
We know.
Yeah, I think that's a classic problem of a lot of other operators, right? Like they wouldn't have a close relationship with the property or the car brand, right? So we get input. It's a make it our service better, right? So we would like ask them proactively, okay, hey, is there any issues? Is there something we can do better? So I mean, that's why they always, like, if there's an issue, okay, they message us, hey, can you do this? Can you help us? So I think it's just a matter of building the right relationship right way.
And with some of the property players as well, we're quite transparent in saying like, hey, do you mind if we experiment this system and see how we can adjust it? And they actually appreciate it, because what people don't know about property management is the only thing that they care about is the service for the tenants. That's the only thing that they care about. So and we go in with that mindset, right? And that's why a lot of the groups would prefer to work with us.
Because your service first, then and we want to find solutions as well. So say for example, their EV population goes up, hey, we install it straight away. We don't even need to they don't need to tell us like, hey, we have 20 more cars. No, we see the usage rate, right? And we actually go like, hey, Pa, I think we need 2 more stations.
It's like calling you and say, hey, Pa, you want to make some money, extra money? I'll give you free money. So
it's already happening, I'm guessing, a lot in your case. That building management actually now calling you to add extra places to charge.
Actually, you'll be surprised at that bit, because what I tell the building as well is, if you don't notice that I'm here, that means I did a good job.
Okay.
Yeah. So on that note, then they don't realize that it's being used more, because we do such a good job that they forgot that we're there.
Okay.
So we have to rely on our own data as well to see what kind of utilization is like, and we actually then go like, hey, Pa, I think we need 2 more stations. Really? Can you show me the data? And then we give like, oh, you're absolutely right. Can you make me 5? Let's do 2 first, man.
But so the demand that's coming from the building manager, is that coming from the EV users in the buildings, or how do they? I'm just trying to figure out the trigger. Like what's the trigger to decide? Hey, but I need 2 more. Oh no, crap! I thought that I need 5 more.
We can see from our back end the usage of each charger.
But do they get the back end of yours?
No, if the property will come only if they're lining up.
Okay.
For waiting for charge, right?
Okay.
So they're like, okay, somebody's asking, can we charge? You know,
Okay.
There's a peak time. There's so many people lining up. That means they're busy. So they're not busy. We can't. We go around. We go back and check. Okay, if it's acceptable data.
Okay.
And something that we want is we want to make sure that doesn't happen.
Yeah. So we're proactively looking at the data, saying, okay.
I see.
It hardly ever happens actually for us.
Only that building.
Only one building it came up with, but that's
yeah.
a unique problem.
Yep.
But so that's something we look at proactively to increase the number of chargers. So going back to the all the ecosystem, building the ecosystem, right?
Yep.
Like, we look at the data. When there's increase, when there's a demand, we just go deploy. We just don't go randomly put it in places that nobody's gonna use, right?
I know. So, but that's I think it's a good segue into my next questions on partnerships, right? Because you mentioned partnerships plays a big role in your growth as well. That you're partnering with car manufacturers, you're partnering with building managements. Is there any partnerships that you're currently looking at as a company to further your vision? To install more. What kind of partnerships that you're currently looking at?
Of course, and please kick my leg if I spill too much.
I'm gonna kick right now. Proactively kick.
I thought you've been doing it for quite some time now.
No, but the vision that I have with Casion is why we called it Casion as well is because of Chas. We wanted to take ownership of that word Chas.
I started the session saying Casion.
I know.
Yeah,
and
so
for me
Casion.
It doesn't matter what you call it as long as you use it. So, but with Casion is what we wanted to do is I don't see it as a Indonesia only brand. I want to turn it into a Southeast Asian brand.
Okay.
I feel that if a system was to work and was to stick, it has to come from the region with the most vehicles.
Okay.
Because right now we're focusing on the 4 wheels. Our next step is the two wheels. And I feel for 4 wheels is a very mature system and a mature market as well, where the product is there. You install a station as long as it follows their standardization. It's fine. You can buy off-the-shelf charging stations. They work extremely well. But with Indonesian motorcycles, it's not the case. Because on a global eye view, the motorcycles here are considered scooters, right? And the existing system, the safety system that exists, only falls towards the bigger 2 wheels. So the likes of Kawasaki's,
like the big.
Those like big bikes, So the unique challenge that we have right now that PJSAF is actively working on is how can we create a 2-wheel system for charging in Indonesia that will follow the standardization and the safety. Because safety is the biggest thing that we need to think about. Because for motorcycles, it's if you don't have the safety systems, there's no stopper, so it will just keep charging.
Oh, I see.
Yeah, so it's different with our phone, because with our phone we can charge, well, the new generation phones, like you charge, you leave it for 5 days, it's fine.
And stops,
it's absolutely fine. But it might not be the case if, say, for example, you're just making your own bike. You might not think about the safety, right? You might not think about that bit where how can I stop? So it will just keep adding juice. And our challenge is how can we standardize the plugs and the protocol and the safety as well. And for us, that's the most important thing. And for me, I see this 2-wheel as also our ticket in towards Southeast Asia. Because again, if a system was going to stick, it will have to come from Indonesia. Because we're the biggest two-wheel population in this
in the-
region. So that is the aim that we have as early as next year, is to expand the two-wheel throughout Southeast Asia. And which is why partnership plays a very important role as well, because we want to have partnerships as well with the two-wheel bikes, which we which were already
the manufacturers. You're
Yes,
talking about.
correct.
Yeah.
So when we go to and also when you look at the bike brands that just closed their fundraising Q3, Q4 last year, I think 90% are Indonesian brands, right?
It's great.
And the other 10% are probably Singaporean.
Okay.
So how we want to do it is we wanted to sort of expand throughout Southeast Asia with them.
Okay. That's the kind of partnerships that
Correct.
you're really looking at
Correct.
to, with the goal of expanding in Southeast Asia. That's
Correct.
pretty good. How is it going so far? Still looking into it?
Yeah, so far we are sort of in the process of finalizing who we want to work with, because we want to make sure that, because we're building a charging from scratch,
Yeah.
right? And it will become our IP. So the partner that we will work with to develop this, we're quite careful on who we want to work with as well.
Yeah.
And
Understandable. Which
of course, yeah. And we're also in the process of sort of gathering the right team.
That's important. Cool. So the next question would be, we've been talking about a lot about the macro. What does it look like in Indonesia? How is it going to grow, right? But infrastructure efforts takes a lot of resources, right? And how do you balance your big vision with the financial viability? So I should ask. Who's holding the money? Who's holding the money? Who's holding the money? That's my next question. Yeah. How do you do it? Like, I can't wrap my head around it, man. I mean, I'm an accountant, but you know.
Well, I came from an F&B background, right? So I see every single charging station like making a new coffee shop.
Okay.
And surprisingly, I can share with you right after this. The unit economics is not that far off with an F&B. You
Really?
get revenue,
Yeah.
and the food cost is the electricity cost, and then it becomes gross profit instantly, right?
Okay.
Yeah. So it's exactly the same. In fact, a lot more simple, because I don't need to have a purchasing team, and I don't need to.
You don't need people to actually make the.
Exactly. And for a charging station as well, if you do it right.
Yep.
That is the big
yeah.
if. The day-to-day operation and maintenance is close to zero, because it will just run by itself, right? And the maintenance cost will be just payroll, because we a team, and that's it. So that's why focusing on the quality of our hardware, quality of our installation, having a casing that will protect our station as well is very important for us. Yeah.
So basically what he said is anybody who wants to build charging stations, go ahead, do it.
Please do it.
Please do it.
So
Please
easy.
do it. Yeah, so I think to add on that as well is we focus on areas that we know that already has an existing EV population. So for example, if it's in a Ganjil Genap area, instantly we will install. We will not even do any study. We will do it instantly. If it's in an apartment, we most likely we will install. But we will also see they need to have at least one EV car.
At least one.
At least one. So my utilization rate cannot be zero. As long as it's even 1%, it's fine.
Okay.
Because my job as well is to help increase the EV population, right?
So
I'll give.
it's kind of like a chicken and egg, right?
I see the chicken and egg one building at a time. So each station is there to serve that building and that building only. If the building next door needs a station, I will build you a station.
Okay.
I don't want you to come next door just to charge there. Right. The most expensive currency in this world is time. I do not want to take your time away from you.
Sure.
If you have a charging station here and you work here, it's easy.
Okay.
If you live in an apartment and your charging station is there, it's easy. I'm not taking away time out of your life at all.
Yeah. Okay. Interesting, man. Now, because we're running out of time right now, but it's very interesting so far. Thank you so much, guys. But lastly, what I really want to know is that, so what are the key factors that contribute to a success of a sustainability focused startups, especially in today's business landscape? I would want to hear from both of you, like, so what are the key contributions to run the startups like this?
Maybe I can go first.
Yeah.
You get other different backgrounds as well. Like for us, it's actually, the trust and respect that we build for every person we meet, right? We basically transparent on what we do.
Yep.
We build from the very day one, from the first conversation itself. We use a different C word other than the competition. It's not competition. We use the collaboration.
Correct. Yep.
So I think that's a very important part that's missing, in startup culture.
Yeah.
I think that would,
That's so
it
true.
helps a lot because because even yesterday we were talking about the hardware. There's a competing hardware company that wants to work here in Indonesia, right? So, okay, let's have a chat. Let's see how we can partner up, how we can do things.
Yep.
Because end of the day, you want to sell your product, you want to build a business yourself. How can we help? How can we work together? Ultimately, this is a young business, industry. Infrastructure is gonna go all around Indonesia or even around the globe, right? So it's just a foundation we're building right now.
Exactly.
It all starts.
No such thing as competition in
Yeah,
this space.
exactly. It's all starts with collaboration and the trust and respect you give to the other people.
Yeah. So you're basically saying, if you want to build the charging station, please build.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, please do.
Absolutely.
Please do, yeah.
Please do. I think that's good for the industry, right?
Entire ecosystem.
Adoption
right?
wise, it's really good, right? You see more charging stations coming up. People will start buying cars, so which is good for everybody. End of the day, it's up to the user who wants to pick which one they want to use.
Exactly.
So yeah,
It's amazing.
And what I love about this industry that we're at right now is we're all sort of in contact with each other. We're friends-ish with each other, where we have this mutual respect where, hey, now we're still so early that we need to be friends. And when it's time for us to compete for market share, we'll figure it out later. But now it's a very collaborative space. And I feel very fortunate to be able to be in the space at this time right now, especially with PJ right here, is because every single door is actually open. All you need to do is just knock it. Everyone wants to talk to.
So one phone call away.
Not necessarily one phone call away, maybe two.
take some effort.
Yeah, but if we want to meet with someone, they will want to meet with us. So and for us as well, the ability for us to be easy to work with, to be able to collaborate with them, have a partnership with them, it's all already on the table. All you need to do is just play it right.
Exactly. Wow, guys, thank you so much for coming here and talk about your startups. It's really interesting. It's really I definitely learned a lot today about you. And remember, this is not going to be the last session that you're going to have in here.
Part 2 is coming.
Part 2 is coming. Priyaji, Kevin, thank you so much, guys.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thanks for having us.